talk about what was it that was your introduction to drugs?
You know, going with that group of guys, being involved in gang in the gang life, and having friends that were, doing that. And of course, one negative thing will always lead to another, and then it's just snowball effect. I was just started drinking after my mission. I came back and I was one of those guys that felt like, I did my time, I could do whatever I want now. But that was the worst thing I could ever think of to do.
Hold up. So I know eventually we're going to make our way to your addiction lifestyle and getting through that. But I feel like this is such a hot topic. And I always try my best never to be the one to guilt trip or we all have our stories, right?
Yeah.
Or our reasoning. But what is it with what was it that made you think of that mindset that you were in when you came home from a mission? Because there's a lot of RMs that come home from the mission, and some of them were amazing missionaries.
Yeah.
They got their testimonies, but for whatever reason they kind of stray away, whether it be old habits or they get curious and create new habits, right? Like what is it about that?
I think it was just old habits for me, and then just curiosity, and then also being involved in thinking a relationship is going to work out and it doesn't work out, and then letting whatever happened with that relationship get the best of you, and then falling into that temptation. Like I felt like I was weak, I felt like that girl was the one to complete me or whatever, and I was with the friend, and like coming back and thinking about you're an RM, and I felt like I had that title mainly, like I'm an RM, cool, like that's all I need for me to be okay, and I could do whatever.
Check the box.
Yeah, like
kind of
bucket list type thing, and but I remember my mission president told me, he's like, continue building your testimony, and that's where I failed. Was doing that. I felt like I did 2 years, did all that. Like my testimony's pretty strong, but that's totally wrong. Like your testimony grows every day. You're practicing. You're doing the things that you need to build your testimony, and that's where I failed at. Like I went back to Snow College and started drinking, and all my boys were there drinking, doing those things, like, and just not going to church, not continue building my spiritual side of me. I felt like I put in the time, and that's one thing that I regret, not being able to do it on my own, to go to church while being around my friends and stuff like that. Because I feel like now if I did that, I wouldn't be where I wouldn't have went through what I went through. But I am grateful for what I did go through, because it's kind of made me the man I am today.
Yeah. What did your mission mean to you? Looking back at what you've gone through in your life, what influence or what impact did your mission have on anything you were going on in life?
I loved my mission, like, just like every other missionary, you fall in love with the people that are there. And you just build this bond with the members and just people that you meet on your mission. And yeah, like I was telling one of my friends that was in the program, he's not a member. He's one of those guys that talk about the church like, oh, it's a cult, whatever. And I was just like, oh yeah, I served a mission. And then he's like, well, I don't think it's a cult, but and I'm just like, oh yeah, backtrack, homie, and then I just told him, yeah, I served a mission. He's like, oh yeah, where? He's all interested all of a sudden. And then he's like, man, so you went for 2 years? Like, yeah, best 2 years of my life. Like, to this day, I can still say that it was the best 2 years of my life. And I do feel like, in a way, I let down the people over there, but whenever I hit them up, they hit me back, and they're just like, Elder Wolfie, man, we miss you. And it's just great, you know. Like, my mission helped me out a lot, but I just got kind of sidetracked.
Yeah.